Hi, hi everyone. It is me. Hi. Sorry. Well, I want to talk about something rainbow. What is it, Twink? It's about on Wednesday with the new Euro, you know, South, Oversight, and about what it will do, what it won't do, you know. Well, first off, Twink, it's not Wednesday yet. And I don't know how the toll's going to work. I don't know if, everyone will be handicapped and that you'll have to have your driver's deal or pass deal, step deal, or your name sheet, and you have to write all these codes or hiddens in it when you're putting in your login or your inner wire. I don't know. They say that some tool is going to look at how long your Google reckoning's been open for, how long what kind of films, shorts, live streams, or podcasts is that you're opening, if you got for kids or not for kids chosen, to see what month, date, and year you were born, all kinds of things. But keep in mind, this is coming from other folks making films. This isn't coming from YOUWAY themselves. Even though they did write a wisp about it, they did not make a film about it. Though. Well, why are they making this new oversight or this new way of dealing with it? Well, Twink, I think they had to come up with a new way to see who was a kid, who was betweener, and who was grown up due to folks lying about how old they were. Because I guess there are kids, betweeners, newbies, and walkers who lie about being older than 8 between years old to get the fairway so then they can go watch things that a they shouldn't be watching, or b they can't handle watching yet, or uploading things that they shouldn't be uploading, or whatever the grounds is. And I guess a lot of bearers and keepers and teachers, and I guess even other worship elders out there, started to make a thing about how it was so smooth for someone to lie about how old they were. And I guess they had to come up with a new toll that would make seem that, that everyone was okay. Yeah, you're grown up. You're a kid. You're a betweener. You're a walker. Whatever, you know. And I don't truly know how it's going to work, to tell you the truth. And I don't feel like, and I don't, I don't feel like, looking up the scanner tool or the ringer tool on my Far Y speaker. Need be doesn't even have one. Just so I can send them, my name sheet. Hey, here's my likeness. Here's my name. Here's the month, date, and year I was born. Shit like that. If it sees me wrong. And if it sees me wrong, oh well, I get handicapped. Big deal. I'm still on the website, still making films. All right, I'm not going to fight it. But you do know there are going to be folks out there who will fight it. Those who will, take their step deal or driver's deal or name sheet and say, hey, look, you got me wrong. I'm a grown up. I'm not a kid. I'm not a betweener or a walker or something. Or those who will think that they shouldn't have to show that shit to a website to let folks know that they're grown up. So yeah, there will be folks who will fight it. And then you're right, there will be folks who will just have to, bite the golden shot and go for all that shit if they want to or not. But I am, like, worried about that. Worried that we could lose all this. Worried that on Wednesday we could be told, well, you can't be on here anymore because we don't know if you're grown up or not. So all those films, all those live streams and the shorts are for nothing then. Well, first off, the only way that I believe you could lose the right to even come on Twink is if you got flagged for not following followership oversights. And I mean like 3 times. Or you got flagged for not following ownership and double right law about 3 times. So that's how someone could lose the right to be on a website, or lose their right to, uploading films and live streams and shorts and podcasts and whatever, But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be worried about it. I mean, we're just going to have to deal with it when it comes up, or if it comes up. And there's always folks that, forgive my English here, Twink, that like to fucking play off on folks' fears. They like to fear strike. They like to take something and, make it out to be something that it's not. They'll bring up about how the 4-1 Kingdom and Southernland have, laws where the interweb is clean and you got to show how old you are before you can go on the interwebs, and think, well, if those 2 lands have it, then the 4-1 Reich should have it. There are many laws that some lands have that other lands do not have. Like some lands have laws that make themselves look like they're more earth friendly than others. But the truth is, doesn't mean all lands, have those same laws. Or, so yeah, I'm not worried about their interweb or their thing, because as we know, the 4-1 Kingdom and the Southern land, the folks don't really have the same right to free speech as folks in the 4-1 Reichs and other lands do. And maybe their interweb isn't shielded the same way ours is. I mean, does that mean that there won't be laws? That doesn't mean, Rainbow, that the Winnemote won't make laws in the 4-1 Reichs that make that happen? Like, I would think that there would be folks that would want to get the House of the Elders and the House of the Folks to make a law and hope the Force Setter would write into law. Well, before I end this film, Twink, I would think there are folks in this world who want to have the interweb skimmed and cleaned and whatever. And those laws that those folks ask their elders or folks to make end up dying, and either in the House of the Elders or the House of the Folks, due to a lack of backing, a lack of, folks wanting to back a bill that would take away the freedom of the interweb from folks. So it never gets, interwired over to the Force Setter's board for him or her to put his or her name on the bill to make it a law. Now, at the end of the day, I don't know what the upcoming holds, but I wouldn't worry about this, It was like the not for kids, for kids setting, and everyone was freaking out, and folks were were putting the fear of God into folks over it. And look, we're still here years later, and all those bad things they said that would happen didn't happen. Well, I guess it's good talking to you about it. Yeah. Well, then you're welcome then.